Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Hit the Ropes Elimination Chamber pay-per-view post-show, and it's 11 o'clock. I'm not sure what the WWE is doing, I guess because they have their network. They can go past 11 o'clock, but it is 11:01. Usually the WWE pay-per-views are done at this time, and we were prepared to bring to you our post-show recap of tonight's pay-per-view. But here it is after 11, and we still have Bray Wyatt versus AJ Styles in the Elimination Chamber, proving that we are going to have a new WWE World Champion. John Cena's 16th title reign is going to be short-lived. I mean, it was kind of obvious going in that it was going to be, a short-lived title reign, especially since Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. But here it is. Bray Wyatt just hit Sister Abigail on AJ Styles, and Bray Wyatt finally wins his first singles title in the WWE. I mean, I take this as his first, title period, because when the Wyatt family held the tag titles, he was not. I don't know. They were kind of doing, to me, I felt like it was kind of like the whole Freebirds kind of thing as well, like with the New Day. But this has been a long time coming. People have been clamoring for Bray Wyatt to win the world title. It's just a little disheartening to see that it's going to be, because we're going to go to Bray versus Randy Orton. Does Randy win the title immediately at WrestleMania? I don't know. It's kind of like Goldberg possibly about to win the title from Kevin Owens so that he can face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. For those who are just coming over from the pay-per-view, I am pretty sure you are happy to know that the new WWE World Champion is none other than Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is a new World Champion. I mean, I'm waiting for my co-host to jump in, but the show wasn't all that great to me. It was really on in the background. But having Bray win, it's pretty cool, because this is a guy who's had such a following in the WWE since he's been up to the main roster. Now we see Bray kneeling in the ring holding the title. Randy Orton's on the stage, took off the hoodie, and is staring at his leader, his friend, his soon-to-be competitor. So let's see how this will play out. But that is the end of the pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. Your new world champion is none other than Bray Wyatt. The rest of the card, I mean, I was talking about it on Wednesday. It was not the most compelling of cards, but there were some good matches, but it was on in my background, and I wasn't really finding myself like stuck to my seat saying that I must watch this. I mean, there's the Grammys on tonight. There's always sports on TV. Um, so there were some things that were competing for my attention. I mean, we have stuff that's on our DVR that me and the wife were watching. Let me see if I can get you know one of these guys to get to work, get on the air. Not sure why we're sending messages instead of getting on the air so we can discuss this and then we can go to our beds because it is late. So let us just run down the Elimination Chamber card from beginning to end. Okay, maybe I need to invite Mac again because apparently he does not see. 1 second for those in Radioland. Sending out the link. Mr. Macintosh can get in. Alrighty. So anyway, all right. So we had Mojo Rawley versus Kurt Hawkins in the kickoff match. Why? I mean, I guess Mojo needs something to do because Zack Ryder is injured, but that and Kurt Hawkins, I totally forgot this guy was even on the roster anymore. But yeah, that was your opening match. That was, let's get you excited for the pay-per-view. So we're going to give you Mojo Rawley and Kurt Hawkins. I think that was a sign of things to come. So it seems like my co-host is finally here.
Yo.
What's up, dude?
Bless you.
Thank you. How did you enjoy the show?
I tweeted this out earlier. I think it was the worst SmackDown show since the brand split. It was until probably the last 10 minutes of the main event. It was super boring.
Totally agreement.
It was kind of a card that was kind of filled with WTFs.
Can you expand on that as I get some tissue, please?
Yeah. So it was just some weird decisions with booking, in my opinion. Starting off with the the kickoff match, like you, I just heard you talk about not realizing Kurt Hawkins was still on the show. I mean, still on the brand. I was hoping Kurt Hawkins would have made an appearance in the Royal Rumble, but he didn't. But man, it was like, Mojo Rawley and Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder partners.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that connection. Maybe this is the beginning of something where they work that in.
I mean, it was wow. It was a lot of stuff I didn't care about on this match. I mean, on this card. Dolph Ziggler in a handicap match. So what? You know what I'm saying? I had no idea that Naomi was even in the women's championship picture. So I enjoy. Okay, so I'm starting off the show sounding like I probably hated the whole card, which I didn't. Um, I really enjoyed the Natalia Nikki Bella match, even though it was just really two chicks brawling, but I enjoyed it. Um, I also enjoyed the last couple minutes of the the chamber match. I hated how Baron Corbin got eliminated. I'll be honest. I hated how Baron Corbin got eliminated, man. The roll up of death of Dean Ambrose. I liked how he destroyed Dean Ambrose after the match, so it looks like he might be on his way to a IC match at Mania. But yeah, it was just overall a card where I just didn't care about. And I enjoy SmackDown way more than I enjoy Raw. But it was just a card that I really just didn't care about.
Yeah, well, let me give you my thoughts, because the Elimination Chamber match, I even went and took a shower while that match was going on. That just goes to show you how much interest I truly had in this show. I did not care for the fact that this pay-per-view came on like 2 weeks after the Royal Rumble.
Right.
It makes sense to me. I just thought that it was just far too soon. I get it. You have a network. You want people to go to your network. You want that $9.99, or you want those people to to get that free month and hope that they stick around. Great, whatever. But it was just too close to the last pay-per-view for me to really have any major interest, for this. And there were some things that caught my eye, but some of them, like you said, was just some like head scratching what the f moments. Becky Lynch beating Mickie James was the first match on the main show, and I thought I thought Becky was going to lose.
Me too.
But she gets Mickie James in, as you call it, the roll up of doom. She gets Mickie James in that roll up, which I tweeted out was the surprise roll up pin that continues the feud. Because Mickie is not done with Becky. That's not the type of victory you get when you're done with somebody. So we're gonna see more from those two ladies, and I am fine with that.
Yeah.
But then we go to the Kalisto Apollo Crews Dolph Ziggler match, and I was perplexed by this match ever since it was announced by Daniel Bryan that Ziggler, the bad guy, was going to be in a handicap match against two good guys. It's not a good look, because Ziggler wins, and then Kalisto and Apollo Crews look like chumps because they were beaten by one guy. And if Ziggler loses, which he did, Kalisto and Apollo still look like chumps because it took two of them to beat one guy. And then after they beat the one guy, he stood tall. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I'm just like, okay, what did this prove? Other than this was just to further the heel turn. I mean, not the heel turn, but the heel character of Ziggler. He hasn't really done anything since he became a heel, except he keeps hitting his opponents with chairs during or after a match.
Once again, it's like the curse of Dolph Ziggler. It's like, he comes off probably the hottest feud of all last year, and they just have no idea what to do with him. I think this heel turn is I think he was just on the card, okay, we got to put Dolph Ziggler on the card somewhere. Oh, look, Apollo Crews and Kalisto aren't doing anything. Let's team up these guys who have nothing in common together and put them in a handicap match against Dolph Ziggler. And it's
No, no, no. In fairness, because you might have been missing a couple episodes of SmackDown here or there, but baking cakes and whatnot because you stay hustling. But Ziggler has had his issues with Kalisto and Cruz over the past few weeks. Cruz came out to save Kalisto after Ziggler was going ham on him, and then Kalisto came out to save Cruz when Ziggler did the same thing. So there's been a program,
Yeah.
but it's been a program where it's one guy beating up two other guys on separate occasions, and then they made a match where those two chumps get to tag team and barely beat the one guy.
Yeah, like I mean, how hard would it have been to be like, okay, Apollo Cruz and Kalisto against Dolph and a partner of his choosing? How hard would that have been? I don't think that would have been very hard at all, and it probably would have made much more sense than them getting the win and then Dolph still like destroying them at the end of the match, and it's just man.
Well, I mean, I can only think that there's something else coming. When we were when we were giving our predictions earlier, um, somebody said that there's possibly a heel turn coming.
Yeah.
We didn't get that here, and it didn't make sense to me that there would be one because what I don't know, you can't beat Dolph, so you join him. It's not like Dolph has been positioned as this big behemoth bad ass mother effer that
Right.
you decide what, I can't beat him, so I'm just gonna join him.
Right.
So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because WWE has a habit of sometimes seeing like, oh, this doesn't work. Let's act like it never happened. So the next, week on SmackDown or Raw or whatever is going to be like, oh, this match never happened. But I think another thing that kind of made the show a little meh to me was we knew I mean, as soon as Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, you knew what the outcome of the main event of this match was going to be. It was predictable, just like like WrestleMania, Raw and WrestleMania is so predictable. They're not going to throw us a curveball. Spoiler alert: Kevin Owens is going to drop the belt to Goldberg, and then Goldberg is going to drop it to Brock Lesnar. But I think that's one of the things that kind of took the steam off. One, it was so close to Royal Rumble, which was a good Royal Rumble. And two, the fact that you knew how the end of the night was going to play out. You knew nobody was going to win the belt except for Bray Wyatt, so they could break up the Wyatt family with him and Randy Orton wrestling for the belt at WrestleMania. So that kind of like killed my interest in the match. And then once I saw Baron Corbin eliminated, I was like, yo, what's going on the Grammys right now, man? And then it's Grammy night too. So, that's another reason for and I don't even watch award shows, but this was, had some pretty good performances. But, it was predictable, man. That's one of the main things I didn't like about it. It was so predictable. So,
some predictability is not always bad.
True.
When the product is entertaining and engaging. But again, I did not find myself being engaged by this edition of a pay-per-view because again, there wasn't all this great buildup of time. We just had one of their big four pay-per-views, which gave us some pretty good moments, and then we're supposed to I know it's 2 weeks, but it's still a short period of time for us to then get invested into a brand new big event. Like the next match that we need to get to, the tag team turmoil, is okay. They had nothing for these tag teams. So they said, we're going to take all the tag teams on our brand and just throw them in a gauntlet match. That was it. There was no build up, no storyline whatsoever.
And the way that match ended was just Like, come on, that was. I mean, that was some Super Cena type ish. The way American Alpha, recovered from that beatdown from the Usos, and I was like, they really about to put the belts on
Yeah,
Ascension.
yeah, that was the only. Okay, there were two redeeming qualities about that match. You just said it. They gave you that holy crap. Are they really about to make the Ascension win the title moment? And the fact that coming out of
Hmm.
this match, it seems like we're gonna finally get that American Alpha Usos feud, which we should have had months ago.
It's about freaking time because it seemed like they just. Well, I mean, I think a part of it was the injury to Gable, um, but then we just had to go through the summer of Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt as the tag champs, and they didn't have the Usos doing anything. And I like the heel Usos. Like I've been telling you guys that since they finally turned. Like I really like the heel Usos and the way they destroyed them at when they got eliminated. I was like, all right, WrestleMania set up right there, and it's probably going to be It's probably going to be a show stealer. I'll be honest. That match is probably going to be a show stealer, but it was just kind of like, seriously, after they got beat down like that, and Chad Gable at the end of the match just pops up like, nothing ever happened. He no sold that like Titus O'Neil, you know.
I don't know. I'm just happy that for those two things, because Darius and I talked about the Ascension, you know, on Wednesday's show, how we were just like, okay, there's no way that this team is winning. I eliminated the Vaudevillains, Breezango, and the Ascension like from the jump, and I'm like, if anything, it's gonna be one of these three remaining teams, but you're probably going to put your money on American Alpha to retain. So when the Usos laid them out, I was just like, oh my God, why? What? They changed their face paint, so now they're going to win the title? No, this can't happen. So I thought that was
That match was short. It seemed short. I know it was a tag team turmoil, and you couldn't really go crazy long, but it just seemed crazy short. Like Slater and Rhino were in the ring for basically 3 minutes, and that's it. And it was like they didn't give the guys time to wrestle. The Usos were eliminated after like 6 or 7 minutes. Uh, just it was another WTF kind of moment, just made to make American Alpha look strong, and the Usos, because the Usos looked strong too. But it was just a vehicle to make your top tag team on SmackDown look strong. So, oh, they came back after this, so much turmoil, and it looked like they were on the brink of, losing. But, meh,
according to where I'm looking, that the tag team match was 21 minutes long. So it was the second longest match of the night behind the Elimination Chamber match itself.
Oh,
Um, but I mean, again, it was all background for me. I just started looking up really when it was the Ascension about to win. That's when I actually started focusing on the match. But next one up is, you mentioned Nikki and Natalia, which ended in a double countout. You said
yep.
that it was a pretty good match um, throughout. Any other thoughts from you on that match? Because I have one, but I'll save mine after yours.
Nope. I enjoyed the match, like I said, because it was, it was a straight up lady brawl. I liked the hardcore stuff that they were doing, outside of the ring. Like my wife actually was watching that match with some interest, Um, but when they went outside, I'm like, oh, this match is gonna end in a double count out. And the fact that they were kind of they were kind of hitting hard. And, you know, I talk about Charlotte doing impeccable things, right? And you guys, but what an impeccable spear from Nikki Bella. I mean, that spear was like Goldberg in his prime, perfect. But other than that, I think that was a great way to end that match to keep the feud going. Double count out, and then the way Natalya ran out after the end of the match, and then the fact that they were brawling backstage, you know, I like that. It was really the only match that had a legit kind of like a segue to the rest of the feud. Um, you know, I well, other than the tag team match, but you know, like Naomi and Alexa Bliss, I'm upset that Alexa Bliss won. I'll be honest.
Hey.
Okay,
We're almost
let's
there.
say that.
Almost
Let's
there.
say that.
Almost.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go. What are
All
your
right.
thoughts on the Naomi? I
I
mean, the Natalia Nikki match?
I'm
All
gonna
these
I'm gonna
wins,
go.
man, it's crazy.
Yeah. and all these women in one match in one card too. Um,
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna go the other way, um, because this has been the longest feud for this pay per view. This
Hmm.
feud has been the longest one, but just because it has the length does not mean that it's been very compelling.
That's
It
true.
it's a feud that I wish would just be over with. I was hoping that this would be the end of it and that we don't continue this. Hopefully, we don't go all the way to WrestleMania, but that might be the case where heck, they might decide to make Nikki and John versus Natalia and somebody of her choosing. I don't know. Um, but the match was good for their intensity, but then there was a point of the match where I did not care for. Now, Natalia's been going below the belt the entire feud since
Hmm.
she came out, as the attacker of Nikki Bella.
Hmm.
So these two are fighting. They're outside the ring, they're scrapping and all of this. If I'm Nikki Bella, my intent is I don't care about winning the match. I'm out there to beat this woman behind because she's been talking all this crap about me and my boo. So the referee is at 9, and I see Nikki stop wailing on Natalia to run to the ring to try to slide in and break the count. Right there, I lost it. I said, you know what? Screw this. This is stupid. This is stupid because I don't care about winning the match because this is not like a number one contender match.
Right.
This is a blood feud without the blood.
Right. I think
So
it's also another way. I like one of the things that I've enjoyed about SmackDown is the fact that it seems like they don't just focus on the champ and who she's feuding with at the time. They kind of seem to focus on like they try to focus on all the ladies. And one thing that I really did, I kind of liked about the show was um, Ellsworth and what's her face giving commentary between a few of the matches. Um,
Carmella.
Carmella, yeah, and the way Ellsworth was dressed, I thought that was classic. White dude trying to be black dress. But I kind of enjoyed that. But but I think that, like I said, I think that was just a way to keep the ladies active, and and I like the fact that SmackDown is doing this, and I do kind of agree with you that running it back into the ring, the double count out would have been more kind of, I guess, realistic if Nikki wouldn't have tried to run back into the ring at 9. Like, yo, you were taunting me and taunting my boyfriend while we were in the match, in the middle of the match, and oh my goodness, I'm taking it out on you. I'm beating you. You're gonna pay. Oh, I hear the referee at 9. Let me get back in to try to win the match. So, I agree with you on that point. But then after that, like I said, I like the way they kind of brawl at the end because you don't always see that, and it seems like every time you see a lady brawl, Nikki Bella's always involved. So, um, yeah, those are my thoughts on that match.
All right. I believe you stated that the Orton Luke Harper match was the best match of the night prior to the Elimination Chamber. Um,
Oh, that was Stokes.
Oh, that was Stokes. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of you northern people. So, okay. So, never mind that, where I was going with that. Now, this outcome was pretty obvious because Orton won the Royal Rumble. He's got a date at WrestleMania. It wouldn't make sense for him to lose this match. But it again falls in the category. I wasn't really paying attention. So, I don't know if you did. You can go ahead and have your conversation or your critique or commentary about this match because I didn't watch it. So I don't have anything to say.
That was my bathroom break match. I watched probably the first 2 minutes of it. Came back out the bathroom. My wife had switched to the Grammys, so I watched the Grammys for about, you know, 5 minutes. I missed the entire, Alexa Bliss Naomi match, but then I kind of like rewound it. But yeah, I didn't even watch Luke Harper, Randy Orton because I had no interest in it because once again, it was kind of predictable. You knew Orton wasn't going to lose, So, but from what Twitter said was, they did kind of make Luke Harper look strong. I just, where do they go with Luke Harper from here?
He might always realign himself with Bray, but then I also hear that Eric Rowan is back to training in the Performance Center, so he might be coming back to team up with Harper. Let's move on to the Women's Championship. You said that you were able to go back and look at some of that match, but Alexa Bliss, sweet Alexa Bliss, who HTR has fallen in love with, is no longer the SmackDown Women's Champion. And I feel sad about this, but then it's also Naomi who she lost to, and I'm a big Naomi fan. But despite me being a Naomi fan, I thought that maybe Bliss could have held on a little longer to the title. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree. Because I think all this sets up for is like a big, ladies match for the belt at WrestleMania, in my opinion. I've been like the biggest fan. I think out of the four of us, I'm probably the biggest Alexa Bliss fan. I'm not hating because she lost to Naomi. Hey, I like Naomi just like you do. I love her entrance, that loud ass ring gear that she wears, the dancing, the booty. I'm all for Naomi, but I just think it was kind of quick, that they just snatched the belt off Alexa Bliss. But I if they keep feuding, I'm all for it. I just hope it doesn't lead to some, giant like fatal 4-way or something like that for the women's match. Like I said, I like what SmackDown has been doing with the ladies, especially the champion. So, I just hope they let them, really do it justice and not like, be on a WrestleMania pre-show. So
I feel that we'll get the rematch. Bliss will get her rematch sometime on SmackDown, and then WrestleMania we might get a 4-way where it's Naomi, Bliss, Mickey, and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Because I really feel Nikki and Natalia will probably still be feuding, come WrestleMania time, or they decide just make it a, sexy 6-way match or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then it brings us to the main event, which was the Elimination Chamber. I started the show at 11 o'clock because that's what I put, it on YouTube to start at, and the pay-per-view was still going out at 11.
I was surprised by that. Usually, the pay-per-views in about 10:48. 10:45.
Right.
But I was look. Oh man, it's 11:01 and the pay-per-view still going on. Okay.
So those who were listening at live in the beginning were hearing me discuss Bray Wyatt defeating AJ Styles at the very end. So Cena has held the title 16 times, and he's now lost the title 16 times, which means that Cena will soon be breaking Ric Flair's record of most world championship titles won. Any other thoughts on the fact that we predicted Bray Wyatt to win? He did, in fact, win. Um, any other thoughts on him or what is coming out of the in the chamber?
No, it was, like I said, I like the last 10 minutes. There are a couple things that I hated in this match. I alluded to one at the beginning of the show. I hated how Baron Corbin got eliminated. I mean, I hate the roll up of death, and we saw it already, earlier in the show, and you do the roll up of doom twice in one show. I hated that. I hated. I didn't hate the fact that they made Miz look like a coward because that's the Miz. I loved how Baron Corbin destroyed Dean Ambrose. I really did because they need to. I like Baron Corbin. I don't think he sucks like a lot of people do, but he needs something to do. I mean, and Dean Ambrose, let's be honest, does not need a belt. He doesn't because fans are going to cheer him regardless. So he doesn't need a belt. I don't like Dean Ambrose anyway, so I'd love to see somebody get the belt off of him. So it looks like that was the start for a feud between Corbin and Dean Ambrose. I hated the way John Cena got eliminated, man. It just seems so. We've seen Cena get up from stronger moves than that, but man, as a John Cena fan, I was disgusted how easily John Cena got pinned tonight. But then I like the last 10 minutes of the show. I thought, you could have let the guys I thought you could have let AJ get a little more offense off. I didn't like the fact that, the beat down, but whatever, we knew Bray Wyatt was going to come out the champion. If you didn't know Bray Wyatt was going to come out the champion, you just have not been watching since the Royal Rumble, So, but those are my thoughts. Like I said, the last 10 minutes was good, but it was more things that I disliked about the pay-per-view that I liked about the pay-per-view. Even though the stuff that I kind of liked, the stuff that I liked, I did, really like, but the stuff that I hated more than the stuff that I liked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It to me was a very sleepy pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It was really background noise, and it wasn't even that noisy because I had my volume, pretty low while I was watching other things on television. I'm still a fan of Smackdown, the weekly show. So, they're to comfort me because I'm pretty sure on the weekly show, SmackDown is going to do, enough to keep me entertained. But tonight just was not the night. I'm gonna have to look into how the Talking Smack post show edition went because that's always exciting as well. And I'm hoping that Daniel Bryan is on there because when he's on there, it's that much better.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just say this: like I turn to the Grammy. I don't watch award shows, but I turn to the Grammys in the middle of the main event, so I can see the Prince tribute. That's how I felt about it. So, oh
well. So apparently, speaking of the Grammys, Adele won the big one, and she's basically apologizing to Beyonce for winning. Like seriously, people, why do we always do this? You win. Who gives a rat's behind if the other person did not win? You won.
And Adele's album was great. I mean, I enjoyed her album more than I enjoyed Lemonade, But yeah, I was all for Chance the Rapper winning Artist of the Year. So
Like seriously, it's okay. Beyonce does not need to win everything.
No,
She's
although
got
her,
two freaking babies.
yeah, and I just gotta say something. I don't know how many of our fans who watch us are fans of Prince or Bruno Mars, but Bruno Mars did his thing in the Prince tribute. Okay, that's it.
All right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I sit here and try to read this thing that just came across my Twitter thing, um, looks according to the PWI Insider, the Hardys have agreed to terms with staying with TNA.
Okay.
Wow. I was hoping that that would not be the case. But all right then. With that, we will see you Wednesday night and keep checking the news sheets to see all that stuff with the Hardys, if it's true or not. And Drew Galloway's contract is coming up to be the chosen one under Vinnie Mac. We'll find out. We'll be back on the air Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. This is Shane Howard. That is Courtney Mack. This is Hit the Ropes Radio. We thank you. Make sure you listen to us. On iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Libsyn, and every other place you can find.
Check all your podcast apps, yo.
There you go. There you go. All right. Peace out, people.
Peace.